What's going on, History Peeps? We have a review video for you today on Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois, two very influential African Americans from the late 19th, early 20th centuries. Let's get going. All right, a little background on Booker T. Washington. He was born in Virginia in 1856 as a slave, so he would not see emancipation through the 13th Amendment for many, many years later. He established the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, and here's a picture of it. It is a college for African Americans. And there is the house that he lived in for most of his adult life at the Tuskegee Institute. His house is still there. You can go visit it in Alabama. He believed very strongly that education was very important for African Americans, especially in being able to identify this vocational training. This is learning a specific skill. Today it might be like being a plumber or an electrician, but it is learning a specific skill, and that's what he encouraged African Americans to study. That type of education, vocational. In 1895, he gave a very famous speech called the Atlanta Compromise, in which expressed his belief that African Americans should accept segregation. Remember, this is in the South. This is right in the heart of the Jim Crow era, in which African Americans and whites were segregated. And he argued that African Americans should accept that segregation in exchange for economic opportunity. So he saw this more as a gradual thing in which African Americans would eventually gain equality, but in the meantime, just focus on economic opportunities. And he had a very famous quote. It said, "In all things that are purely social, we can be as separate as the finger." So when it comes to socially, when it comes to segregation, African Americans and whites could be separate. Yet, one as the hand in all things essential to mutual progress. So when it comes to economic opportunities. Definitely be familiar with the Atlanta Compromise and that quote there, please. W.E.B. Du Bois. Well, he was born in 1868 in Massachusetts. So he was born 12 years later, and he was born in the North. So he never was born a slave. He didn't know slavery. Slavery was illegal by this point. So he's going to have a much different life experience than Booker T. Washington did. He received a doctorate from Harvard. He was the first African American to get his PhD, and he opposed Booker T. Washington's accommodation policies. He was against his ideas that blacks should accept segregation. In 1905, he was a very important member of the Niagara movement. You can see him right in the center here in this picture. This happened in Niagara Falls, Canada, not Niagara Falls, New York, because hotels would not allow them to stay. So the goal of the Niagara movement was to end discrimination and segregation in the United States. This helps morph into, a couple years later, the NAACP, or the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And the goal of this organization, which is still around today, is to ensure equality and to end discrimination as well. WEB believed in something called the talented 10th, which you very well may see on any exam. And this is the belief that leaders in the African American community should have full access to education in American life. So he didn't necessarily believe in the vocational training that Booker T believed in. He believed that African Americans should be able to pursue any education that they wish, including getting a doctorate as he did from Harvard. All right, let's compare the two individuals. Both wanted rights for African Americans. And again, they were, as I said in the beginning of the video, they were two of the most influential, if not the most influential African Americans from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. And they differed on how to achieve those rights. Again, W.E.B. was against accommodation and segregation. Booker T was in favor of gradual acceptance for African Americans. He realized this would not be won overnight, so it may take a little while, whereas WEB wanted immediate acceptance. Okay, some test tips for these two individuals, as you very well may see them. If it's an essay topic, chances are you won't see a topic comparing Booker T and WEB. Rather, what you'll see is comparing these two individuals with other leaders from different times. So, for example, how did Booker T and W.E.B. Du Bois compare to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X in the 1950s and the 1960s? So it would kind of be the two of them compared to two other individuals from another time. Multiple choice question tips. When you see Booker T, think vocational training and definitely be able to identify that quote. In all things that are purely social, we can be as separate as the fingers. That was part of his Atlanta Compromise speech. Again, accepting segregation as long as you have economic opportunities. For WEB, definitely know the NAACP, know the Niagara Movement, and know the Talented 10th. I mean, it's pretty much knowing everything in this video, but it's keyword association there to help you out with your test. And also, good luck. You'll do great. You're brilliant. So, thank you very much for watching. Take a moment to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. If you could help me spread the word with this video, I would greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the section below. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day, guys.